Mombasa for the 46th annual conference, which we will be discussing the theme enhancing effectiveness and efficiency in education. We want to look at how efficient have we been and how effective have we been for the past 1 year, and what lessons are we learning so that we inform the new year that we are now beginning. We also want to look at how we have been in the old dispensation that is coming to in its tail end, the 844, and how we can learn from those lessons to improve the new CBC. So that's why we are in Mombasa, and we have invited a myriad of speakers who will be addressing all issues, beginning from funding issues, issues of sanitation. We will be having students here to discuss that challenge they have in the institution, how best can we improve it. We also want to tap on international experience in terms of ICT integration. If you remember, during the Corona period, we closed. Yes, we have discussed with the minister, and I would like to make it clear that it is not from our discussion with the minister that the number of hours were changed. No, the basic regulations implementing the Basic Education Act, those regulations have stipulated the number of hours the children should be in school. So what the minister was simply doing was reminding us that there is already stipulated time in which the students should be in school. So those hours are not coming from our discussion. We were being reminded. Of course, we know the challenges that are there with the number of hours that are being proposed in the regulations, and I think in this meeting we will be able to expound on the challenge of not sticking to those 6 hours. Why do we feel as principals we need to hold the students a little longer? I would not want to share now because I'll be preempting what we may be saying in the course of the meeting. To do with the way government finances are spent, and therefore members of the Education Committee, when here, they'll be able to understand the challenges principals are going through, and what proposals we may be giving, so that they can inform change of policy or even change in funding model. So that is what we shall be looking at in the course of this year. And of course, the preparation for the takeoffs of CBC in senior secondary education. Because we are aware it is now the first year in junior secondary. We have 2 more years before they come to senior secondary schools. So what are the various pathways the senior secondary schools are going to pick? Will all the schools pick all the 3 pathways? And if not, what criteria will be required for each school to be able to pick whatever pathway they would wish? So this is a preparation time for us, and we would like direction and advice on what we should do in order to prepare on time. Yes. No, last year His Excellency the President was with us. Yeah. This year we are not saying he's not attending. What I know is we may not have sent him an invitation, but we cannot rule out the fact that being the president of this nation, he is able to go anywhere at any time. So we expect that he can come, being the president. Number 2, we also felt this is the first year of His Excellency. Maybe we don't put too much pressure on him. Kessha is still there. He will always come. Yeah. But if he comes, it is a welcome idea.
Lastly, parents are accused of principals at times studies when monumenting institutions, like selling
That is a perception that I've kept saying it is not true. There is no principal in his right senses that will want to turn his or her school into a money minting process by selling uniforms. We don't sell uniforms. We provide an avenue for parents to access those uniforms. Don't mind if we say today, go and buy anywhere. It is the same parents who will now start saying that we are being exploited. You imagine if that is left open. Supplier A is selling the uniform of school B. Supplier B is also selling. Now it would be, they say you will compete in the market, isn't it? So if I'm going to a school in Kiambu and I'm in Mombasa and I have to buy it here, if it's not here, it means I have to travel all the way to Kiambu or Nairobi to purchase the same uniform. Yeah? And if I buy it here, buy the mattresses here, there is a cost in transporting those things. So this blanket condemnation of heads of institution, I think, in my view, sometimes it is overdone. Yeah, it is overdone.
Chairman, maybe your word on the new law, the finance bill, now that it has turned to be a law.
It is not yet a law. I will comment when the president will have ascended to it.
He has already done it.
Oh. One thing people should understand is that schools also are subjected to public procurement process. So those people, once we advertise, and I would want to invite you to be looking at the newspapers. Schools are advertising, and this is the period schools are advertising. You will find schools have advertised supply of uniform, meaning whoever will apply will competitively be picked. So what do we do after this person has been competitively picked? There are two things. One, we will either tell the parents go and buy there, or we will tell this supplier bring the uniform to school. So it's not that we are selling, we are simply trying to make it easier. And we need to separate two things here. We need to separate uniform as uniform, what I wear, the shirt, the trouser, or skirt, whatever, and boarding items. Because we lump all these together and say school uniform is very expensive. Remember, some of those items are purely boarding. Mattresses are there, blankets are there, bed sheets are there. You know what you used to go to boarding. So sometimes we are accused wrongly, and I would want to ask Kenyans sometimes go a little slow on accusation, on principles doing business. And after I've read.
Thank you, sir.
He has ascended today by 10 o'clock. Yeah, fine. So we will look at where does education come in. My interest would be with that finance bill, where does education come in? But we are aware. The PS the other day, when he was making his comments to Parliament, he clearly indicated that with what is being given in the budget, there's a possibility of 1 million students going to lack capitation, if you remember that. So we are saying already there is that fear. So as we get into the implementation of that finance as far as education is concerned, we must take cognizance of that red flag that the PS had already given. I'll back him on that. We need to look for more funds so that we are able to get all our children get capitation. Even though we are saying that capitation is not enough, we still want it increased. But the fact that it is identified that 1 million students may miss, then it means even the complaint we are having now that we are not getting the 22,244 in full, then we may be even getting even less in this financial year. So I would be more interested on how that finance bill and education. Closed the schools and closed learning, but Estonia was able to continue their learning. So we have the speaker, the ambassador to Kenya from Estonia to share with us the experience, the Estonian experience. We will also have a talk from the president of the International Confederation of Principals, Professor Peter Kent, who will share with us on the education managers' preparation whenever there are changes in the curriculum. It's a worldwide thing. Curriculum will always change, but how should education managers like ourselves prepare for it? We will also have discussions with the Ministry of Education. So the minister will be here to share with us. The PS, the two PSs, Dr. Belio Kipsang of Basic Education will be here and learning. We will also have Dr. Beatrice Nyangala to talk to us about the new approach in getting into tertiary education. As you are aware, the scholarship method, the funding method at universities is going to change. And how do students get to this? It's only when the principals understand that they are able to inform their students as they prepare for the next level of learning. Then we will also have members of parliament